Alright, welcome everyone, Akeeper380 here, and I really appreciate you taking time out of your day to check out my video. So today I'm going to be showing you how Aerofly FS Flight Simulator runs on a Nintendo Switch 2. I'm going to be using an Emirates Airbus A380, and I'm going to be doing a pushback out of London Heathrow departing runway 09R. So, believe it or not, there is actually quite a few flight simulators on the Nintendo Switch, and most of them are really bad. Really bad, in fact. I've played most of them, and yeah, they're really bad. This one, however, is a very, very big exception. This is an absolute fantastic flight simulator for the Nintendo Switch. It also does run on a Nintendo Switch 1, which I'll get into some of the details of how it runs on a Nintendo Switch 1 and Nintendo Switch 2 as we get into the video. But yes, you might be familiar with the video game Aerofly FS Flight Simulator because it is also on PC and even on mobile, and they've done an absolute fantastic job porting that to the Nintendo Switch. I mean, if you just look at the visuals I'm showing you here on video, it looks incredible, and you would not think that this is actually running on the Nintendo Switch. Visually, it doesn't look too much different when you plan it on Nintendo Switch 1. Obviously, Nintendo Switch 2 is upscaling it to run at a sort of native 4K resolution. But the huge difference between playing this on a Nintendo Switch 2 compared to the Nintendo Switch 1 is the absolute incredible boost in frame rate it's got. Nintendo Switch runs at around, at least maximum, up to about 30 frames per second. Thankfully, the developers did not cap the frame rate on this game, so when you do play on the much more powerful hardware of the Nintendo Switch 2, it's running natively around 60 at most times. It does drop a little bit here and there when there's a lot going on screen if there's quite a lot of textures, but for the most part, the game is running as smooth as butter. It really is. Now, I did a video on this game a couple of months ago, and I was called out on it, and rightfully so I was called out on it, because I was stating that the game was running at 60 frames per second. It was. However, after closer inspection, I noticed my capture card was capping the video at 30 frames per second. Sorry. So although the game is running at 60, the capture card was recording it at 30 frames per second. It's essentially downgrading the quality. Yeah. It's been a very long time since I've recorded any video game footage from a capture card, and yeah, it did not look good. So I really wanted to revisit this and do like a much better video to show people that might be interested in picking up this game, because it is an absolute joy to play. And as I said, I've played a lot of flight simulators. I also do play Microsoft Flight Simulator as well, but I honestly find myself coming back to this game a lot more than Microsoft Flight Simulator. Of course, it does not have all the bells and whistles that Microsoft Flight Simulator has, but this has just such an easy pick up and play dynamic. Like, literally anyone can pick this game up and you will learn the controls pretty quickly. It may not be as like realistic control wise as you play on Microsoft Flight Simulator, but I think that's one of the big pros that this game has. Like, literally anyone can pick this game up and put it on the auto co-pilot easy, and the game will just do everything for you, and you can just sit back and relax and enjoy your flight. One thing this does have over Microsoft Flight Simulator, and it's a big plus, and that is the price. Now, the game retails for just under £30 on the Nintendo Switch eStore. It does sometimes go on sale. It has been out, I think, nearly a year now, and that includes everything. You have all the 3D textures of most airports in the world, and some 3D textures of some of the prominent landmarks, such as London, for example, will pop up, and obviously New York, some big areas like this. As you can see here on the video, you've got some really, really awesome textures of London Heathrow, and I've flown out this airport many a times, and this is a really, really good recreation of the airport. It even does have the Concorde at the end of the runway, which you might see as we are departing. I'll try to pan the camera around. Also included in the price is all the liveries, which is amazing. Like, you have to buy all of the liveries if you want them on Microsoft Flight Simulator. They're all included here in the price of the purchase. Obviously, it doesn't have everything, but it has pretty much all of the big companies, the big airlines that you're all familiar with. Obviously, if you've seen Emirates, British Airways, American Airlines, you know, JAL, ANA, all the ones that you're going to be very familiar with. So, we are just lining up with the runway. We're going to be departing 09R. This is actually a route that I recently did, well, recently, a few months ago, on my trip to Dubai on an Emirates Airbus A380. So yes, hopefully you're getting a better idea of the quality of this game. You can see it's running really, really smoothly. And we'll just line up right here as we get ready to depart. Obviously, as we are close to the ground, you can see some of the limitations of the games, because when you're not looking at textures of the airports or some of the cities, a lot of it does look flat. You can kind of see a little bit here. The game looks better when you're in the sky, absolutely, but as I said, this is essentially a mobile game ported to the Nintendo Switch, and it looks amazing. Look at the details of like the sun. I've got it, the weather, I've got it set as a sunset at the minute, so the textures and the 3D models of the airplanes look honestly incredible. I was absolutely blown away when I purchased this game. I really weren't too familiar with the brand of Aerofly FS Flight Simulator, and when I saw the models, I first played this game on a Nintendo Switch 1, and I could not believe how good this game looks as a Nintendo Switch game. When you think the hardware itself in a Nintendo Switch 1 came out all the way back in 2017. So you see here, glorious takeoff out of 09R. Got London Heathrow to the left of us here. We might just about see the Concorde. Got some pretty good shots there of 747s. Yeah, just see it as it's going below us right there. Obviously, the 3D textures on aircrafts and airports are kind of set pre-2020, so that's why you're going to see some models of like 747s at a lot of these airports, when most airlines other than Lufthansa have kind of retired the 747 range. Now look how good that game looks as we are coming out and starting to go over London right here. You would not think this is running on Nintendo Switch. The game does run very well in handheld mode. I've actually had a few questions on that, whether the game does run on handheld mode on the previous video, and it certainly does. So I've got the co-pilot on right there, and I've got it set to a route which I have it set for Dubai International, which makes sense, right? We are flying an Emirates A380. So another reason to purchase this, maybe if you have upgraded to the Switch 2, is although it does run very well, lower frame rate on the Switch 1, I did notice I had quite a few crashes, as in the game crashing, when running this on a Nintendo Switch 1. Specifically if you are landing at an airport and it has lots of 3D textures, especially if it's a big aircraft like 747 or the A380, the game will just crash, it just can't handle it. Since getting the Nintendo Switch 2 version, which I have been playing since the Switch 2 come out, which is about 3 months ago now, I've not encountered a single crash of the game. So yeah, it is, despite the game not getting like an official Switch 2 upgrade patch, it runs amazing. I would hope and love to think that we might get a designated Switch 2 upgrade pack for this game. I would love to see that. I really don't know how well this game sold on the Nintendo Switch. I really don't think the market is perhaps there for the Nintendo Switch. For a flight, you know, when you think flight simulators, you obviously think of the big one, Microsoft Flight Simulator. And when you think of the demographic and the market of the Nintendo Switch, I really don't know if they would be interested in investing more resources and putting more content out. I'm going to pan through some of the different camera angles here, because you've got some really awesome shots here. So the game has had a few updates since release, which is how we've added some more 3D textures to some of the landmarks, and obviously some bug fixes. But we've not had any paid DLC, so there's no like options to buy extra planes or extra landmarks or whatever, which I would really love to see them put in some paid DLC in it, because I would absolutely support this game and literally throw my money at these guys. This is an amazing game. Again, I don't know if we can see it because of how beneficial it is for them to put paid DLC on the Nintendo Switch. As I said, the game's been out, it's got to be coming up about a year now, and we've not actually had a single paid DLC on the game. A few questions I've also had is what planes are on the game, and it's got pretty much all the planes you can think of, all the popular ones, even Concorde, which is pretty expensive to buy on Microsoft Flight Simulator. You've got all the versions of the 737. The only glaring omission that is not on this game is the Airbus A350, which is a shame because that is a lot of people's favourite aircraft, and you know, I said really hope that maybe we get that as an update or even paid, because I was absolutely I'd absolutely buy it. But yeah, that's pretty much I think everything I've got to say about this video. The quality has come out a lot better compared to my last video, which I'm very happy with. So yeah, absolutely recommend this game, guys, even if you've just got a Nintendo Switch 1. It is an awesome flight simulator. If you're into any forms of aviation, you are going to absolutely love this game. It's become one of my most played games on the Nintendo Switch, and I'm going to probably be doing a lot more content of it here on the channel. So, as I said, it doesn't have all the bells and whistles as Microsoft Flight Simulator, but it honestly does have quite a few pros over Microsoft Flight Simulator. Look at the awesome textures here of London as we're departing in the background. And obviously the big pros it does have over Microsoft Flight Simulator is the price. Price is a really big one to me. You know, I'm not financially like loaded, so like to pay less than £30 for a game, everything on it is amazing. And the other big pro over Microsoft Flight Simulator is the pick up and go aspect of it. It's very beginner friendly, but also, you know, if you can do all the automatic controls, or you can do many of the manual controls if you so wish, for a more authentic experience. But yeah, I think that's everything I've got to say and show here on this video. If you've got any more questions on the game, or if you're considering buying the game, or anything else you want to know about it, please leave a comment in the description below, and I will be sure to get back to it. If you enjoyed this video, I really would appreciate a thumbs up, and if you really are a lover of aviation, please do consider subscribing. I upload daily aviation videos here on the channel, many shorts, almost daily, takeoffs, landings of all my trips over the world. We can share our love for aviation. Anyway, that's it, guys. Thank you very, very much for watching. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you on the next video.